If you're listening to this alone, turn around first. I didn't. That's why I'm recording this now. This story was sent to you because I can't keep it inside my head anymore. I don't want my name read out loud. I don't want this tied to my face. I just need it somewhere outside of me. I live alone, small apartment, 3rd floor, quiet building, the kind of place where nothing happens, which is why I installed cameras in the first place. Not for fear, just for peace of mind. I wanted proof that I was alone. The camera in the kitchen was cheap, wide angle, mounted above the cabinets, pointed toward the sink in the back door. It recorded constantly. I barely checked it. Days would go by without me opening the app. Nothing ever happened until last Tuesday night. I remember that evening clearly because it felt ordinary, too ordinary. I cooked pasta. I stood at the sink, scrolling on my phone. The apartment lights were warm, comfortable. I felt safe enough to be careless. I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel anything. That's important. Around 11:47 p.m., I went to bed. I slept through the night. No nightmares, no noises, no sense of being watched. Nothing. Then, the next morning, I checked the camera out of habit. No reason, just routine. The footage loaded slowly. I watched myself in the kitchen, alive, normal, unaware. And then I saw it. Behind me. At first, my brain refused it. Perspective trick, shadow, glitch. The camera angle distorts height. I know all the excuses because I used all of them. But the shape behind me wasn't a shadow. It had depth. It was tall, too tall to fit in the apartment properly. Its head was near the top of the frame where the ceiling cuts off. Its shoulders were narrow, wrong, like they were stretched upward instead of outward. It stood directly behind me, close enough that if I had leaned back, I would have touched it. I didn't, because I never knew it was there. I watched the footage again, and again, and again. The thing didn't move. I did. I shifted my weight. I reached for the sink. I tilted my head, but it stayed perfectly still, like it was posing. Then I noticed something worse. It wasn't looking at me. It was looking past me, straight into the camera. Its face, I don't know how to describe it properly. Not blank, not detailed, just incomplete, like a face remembered incorrectly. But the eyes were clear, focused, intent. It knew it was being recorded. A long pause. I don't remember that moment. In the footage, I stood there for almost a full minute. The thing stayed behind me the entire time. Breathing not visible, no movement, no blur, just presence. Shaken. Then, slowly, it leaned forward. Not toward me, toward the camera. Its head lowered slightly, as if adjusting to the lens, as if it wanted to be seen clearly. That's when my phone slipped from my hand in real life. I dropped it while watching. The sound pulled me back into my body. I realized my hands were shaking. I realized my mouth was open. I realized I couldn't remember breathing. I checked the timestamp. The thing appeared exactly 12 seconds before the clip started recording motion, which means it was already there. I called a friend. I didn't tell them everything. I laughed too much. I asked normal questions. I didn't mention the height, or the eyes, or the way it leaned. I needed someone to confirm reality still worked. That night, I slept with the lights on. I told myself it was paranoia. I told myself cameras lie.
I told myself if something like that had been behind me, I would have felt it. I didn't check the footage the next morning. I waited until the afternoon, because part of me didn't want to know. The second night was worse. This time, the camera showed the kitchen empty. No me, no thing, just silence. For hours, until 2:13 a.m. The frame shifted slightly. Not enough to trigger motion alerts, just enough to notice if you were looking. Something stepped into view. It wasn't behind me this time. It was standing where I had been, facing the sink, facing the counter, facing my place. And then it turned its head toward the camera again. This time, it smiled. Not wide, not sharp, just wrong. Like a practice smile. Like it was trying to remember how I do it. A long pause. It stayed there for 11 minutes. I know because I counted. It didn't move, didn't blink, didn't sway. It just stood where I usually stand, as if waiting for me to come back. Quiet, shaking. I didn't stay in the apartment after that. I packed a bag, I left the cameras running, I stayed with my friend. I didn't explain why I kept checking my phone every few minutes. Nothing happened the third night. Nothing the fourth. Flat, exhausted. On the fifth night, the camera recorded something again. This time, it was in the bedroom, whispering, terrified, standing next to my side of the bed, near tears. The bed was empty, but the impression on the mattress, it looked like someone had just gotten up, voice barely audible. The thing didn't look at the camera this time. It looked at the bed, at where I should have been. Long silence. I deleted the footage. I know you're not supposed to. I know, but I couldn't let it exist. Final. Slow. I moved out last week. The landlord says the apartment is empty. The cameras are gone. But sometimes when I'm washing dishes somewhere else, small pause, I feel like I'm standing in the wrong spot, whispering, final line, and I don't turn around anymore. Because last time, I wasn't alone.